Hi, this is Edison Guzman with Adria Gross today, and today we have a special feature for you because we had discussed a case a few videos ago, and the ending part of the video at that of the case at that time hadn't happened. So let's talk about that today because you are going to be pleasantly surprised. Adria, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. So let's talk about this case. First, refreshing our memory. This was the Fred and Wilma case. We had to use, these different names for it, of course. But you tell us the follow-up to that case.
So this was involving Fred and Wilma Smith. And it was this crazy situation where the guy turned 65 years old, and he said to him, "Hey, shouldn't I go on to Medicare?" And they said, no, you can stay right here with the insurance company that we're with. It was not up to snuff insurance company. And the employer we called the Unscrupulous Incorporated. So this case, when you film me, we were at a point where they were not paying out the money, and it went back and forth 5 or 6 times. So now finally I said to them, I said, I'm telling you, either you paid it got to a point where they paid about 50%, and now that other 50% is still hanging out there and they're not paying it. So it got to a point where I said to him, hey, look, you know what, either you pay it or I am going to go directly to the state of New Jersey and the state of Pennsylvania and the state of California. This client of mine was at the University of San Francisco in California. That's where he lives. So I said to him, you paid out 50%. When are you going to pay the other 50%? And if you don't, I'm going to the state of California and also the state of Pennsylvania, where the employer has their headquarters. This is an international company. And I said to him, I'm reporting you, and I'm also going to the media. I said, you have a choice here. What are you going to do? And believe it or not, I even spoke to my client about this senator and the assembly person for the state of California, and I'm ready to write that letter. And all of a sudden, it was paid. Not only was it paid, but when I looked further into the case started out $100,000, then we went down to $60,000, then we went back up to $100,000. And as I went through all the explanation of benefits, I saw almost $700,000. And again, I said to him, this is where I'm going to go. I'm just about to get the letter out. And they get an explanation of benefits in the mail saying that there was all this money paid out. And even when I look back, I saw almost $700,000. The largest bill was from the hospital. And I'm thinking, oh my God, here comes this explanation of benefits. So what I did is I reached out to the hospital, and every time I reached out to them, they weren't answering me right away, but I looked to see who the CEO of the hospital was. I sent them a note. I said to him, I got this explanation of benefits. It seems to me that all the bills are paid, but if you can't get back to me by the end of this week, I'm reaching out to the CEO of your hospital. And believe it or not, within 5 hours, when I sent that email out, I got a response saying, you have a zero balance.
That is fantastic. That is unbelievable. That is such a great ending to that story. Now, this is something you mentioned. It went from 100,000 up all the way up to 700,000. Does that mean that the client saved up to $700,000, or
yes,
how does that work?
Because the hospital at one point was billing them close to $700,000.
Wow!
So for me to get this letter from them, from the hospital, which of course I put pressure on them, because there were times that I would write this woman at the hospital. I would send her maybe 2-3 emails, and she's not getting back to me. But as soon as I put in that email, and this was on a Tuesday, I said to her, if I don't hear from you by Friday next week, I'm reaching out to the CEO of the hospital. And then within 5 hours, she wrote back to me and said, the family has a zero balance.
That's fantastic, and that's a perfect ending to that story. Well, Adria, we are going to do more case studies and more interviews, and they may be two parts, just like this one, just to keep people on top of what's going on. So thank you again, and we're going to see people at the next video.
Thank you so much. And good luck to all of you. Adria Gross, MedWise Insurance Advocacy. My phone number is 845-978-9493. Again, it's 845-978-9493. And you just go to www.medicalinsuranceadvocacy.com. Thank you.